I know I got in like kind of old or whatever. Like I'm late to I'm late to the whole YouTube, like the whole streamer university kind of thing. I know I'm late to it and all that or whatever, but I gotta be honest. I'm seeing like weird like discussions about it. In my opinion, just from outside looking in, it was dope what he did. But I can tell you this: I don't I don't think anybody, like, some people got on off it. Don't get me wrong, but the thinking that you're gonna get on off of YouTube, like off of that, like streamer university, is like you thought you was gonna get on there and really get on. I think at the end of the day, though, I think let's just say you thought you was gonna get on off of this, right? I think it's a really if you made it, because the pool of entrance, like the barrier to entry was crazy. If you even got into it, like, you still have a lot of work to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just the term, just the discussion is viral right now. Like, so there was opportunity there, but I didn't think that it was something that would help you from a long term perspective. Because when you get done, like, let's say you go through it, you learn like a gang of stuff, and you get all these skills or whatever, which honestly I don't think they learn anything different than what they already knew. Personally, that's just my opinion, right? Let's say you get on, let's say you get there, you do your thing. Let's say you do it. You get there, you do your thing. What you end up finding out is that you just learned a gang of skills, some good skills, but a gang of skills that might not be something, like, it doesn't help propel you in the future the way that you think, because that information is already there. And a lot of those streamers, they have the skill set and like the it factor. You can't, like, it takes a long time to get there. So somebody like Kai Cenat, like, you got to think people are on there just to see his face. You get what I'm saying? Like, it takes a long time to get there. I just don't want to instill false hope in anybody, but I don't want to take anything away from anybody at the same time. So you get this skills, or you go on this university, right? You learn all your different skills and things like that. I saw like the different modules and stuff. It's whatever, but you learn the skills. Let's say let's say just going on that uh, puts you in a position where you get a bunch of subscribers and followers and things like that, right? Let's say you get that. Cool, right? That's dope. But you still have to continue that. You still have to, like, it, it's an everyday thing. Like, you have to post. You're doing this every day. It's an everyday thing. You know what I mean? And you're on there. It's every day. You're trying to figure out what's a viral topic right now. What fits with your brand. You got to get on Instagram and post stuff on Instagram. They need shorts. You know what I'm saying? Will this short work on YouTube? What fits my brand image? There's so much stuff that people don't think about. And I get it. They're trying to learn it, but that, I don't think that's going to send you. Now, I'm not saying people did not go viral off this. Like, some people got on off this, like, but I think it was based off of like cosigns from different cosigns from like different you know companies and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't like anybody specifically, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't them specifically, their skill. It was like somebody helping put them on. You know what I mean? And that's like the scenario that I've seen. It's like, if you stream with somebody else that's on that has hella followers, then you might pick up some of their followers, some of their subscribers, and that's cool. That's cool, that's cool. But at the same time, you got to think too. It's like, it you at the same time, you got to think, like, there's so much more to it. What happens when that inertia dies down? Like, what happens? Another thing I'm hearing about with this too that's kind of interesting is like the discussion of like, it was only black people. He only he only put on for black people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Now, and I say this to people that trip off of, like, I say this to people that are like, oh, they only got women in this thing and they only put women in this, that, like that have issues with like inclusivity. I think the real issue is not that you only saw black people get on off that, or you saw a gang of black people, or it was, but you have to understand that Kai Cenat, being a black man, represents the a group that is marginalized. If you don't believe that the group is marginalized, that's okay. You can say you're a trash human being. That's okay. Like, that's okay. Me personally, I've said all kind of, in my opinion, sexist things in my life, right? That's just if I'm totally transparent with you. And like, I'm just being honest. I'm not proud of it, but that's the case. I probably said something a week ago. I don't know. But I do know that women are marginalized. I we can argue about that all day. You have to be honest with yourself. So when women do things just for women, I shut up, because there are certain things and certain things that they can't do, and it's not their fault. It's not being able to be put in certain positions to allow them to be, you know what I mean? So when somebody gets in a position like Kai Cenat, and he goes, hey, I'm gonna have a lot of black people or some black people or all, I don't know. If that's the case, you got to think about it. That person is doing that out of necessity. They know what they need. You got to think about that. So if you guys are worried about, and it's probably, I'm gonna be real, it's probably like 16-year-old dudes all around. Like, you have to understand that he's trying to create a lane. He's trying to create more streamers. We're not heavily represented in the streaming environment. That's not what we're doing. We're not heavily in like, that's not, we're not celebrated there. We're not represented there. So you have to understand that that's cool. You could have a feeling, like, I get it. You can feel a certain way about something. And honestly, I've had that happen before, where, what I'm saying, I feel a certain way about, like, man, I'm trying to, you know, get on, and I can't. Like, I'm gonna be real. There was this one dude that was complaining. When I say dude, he was like 15, and he's like, basically, like, how come when these girls get on there, they could get on these platforms and go viral and all that. I'm gonna be real, man. I'm under the. To me, I think that it's the kind of, like, I think that women are, they kind of watch social media in a different way, and as a woman, you've mastered how women eat up social media. So, when you're worried about, like, oh man, why does this, that, and the other, why can't this, and why, you have to start to think about it. So for example, with when it comes to Kai Cenat, and you're worried about, racial inclusivity and exclusivity, right? If you're worried about that, and you're worried about gender issues and things like that, you have to understand that when somebody is marginalized, they have to play the game a different way. They have to. I got friends, I got, Indian friends, I got Asian friends, and they create these businesses, and they hire their own. And they have their own reasons. I don't know the reasons. You have to talk to them, right? But I can tell you this, though. They are making sure that they're putting themselves in position because nobody else is going to do it. Or at least that's what they feel. Nobody else is going to do it. As a black man, I know realistically somebody might. But I also know realistically that a lot of people won't. So I can't expect to be represented in certain places. Sometimes I have to create an avenue. And you don't know till you get there. I'm not where Kai is. But I can tell you, every day it's Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is not a member of the black community, and that's okay. But most of the communities, when it comes to, like, most of the time when it comes to streaming, the viral people don't look like us. They don't. So, and that's not their fault. They're streaming. It is what it is. And it doesn't matter. It could be an issue with racism causing that. It could be not. It could be just us not being interested in streaming. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's getting in there and creating a lane. That's all. I could tell you that I drive all day. I drive, all over the place. and there are multiple lanes to get to the same place every time. You don't have, you can take this road to get here, that road to get here, that avenue to get here. That's how that works. It might be traffic on one street. It might be traffic on one road. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to touch on that. And I understand that you might feel a certain way, and this ain't, this is the whom it may concern. You might feel a certain way. And I say that because I've felt a particular way before. Like I said, just off when I was younger, and I was like, oh, the girls, this, that, and the other, they're not doing this, it's only for the women. And I'm like, well, why is it only? But I had to understand. I didn't know what I didn't know. I had to understand that. And I'm using that as a way to explain that I had to learn the same thing. So people that are worried about how black people were being represented overwhelmingly on the cenats, I ain't gonna lie, on a lot of extremes, but also on YouTube University, or on Streaming University. I keep calling it YouTube, but yeah, if you got an issue with that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. If you are if you are let's say you're white, right? If you're white, you are represented in every area. You're even represented in rap. You're represented in R&B. You're represented in and we're not even talking about just media. Every sector you're represented in. And not only are you represented in, a lot of the times you're heading that sector, meaning that you are running that joint. And again, that's not to take nothing away from you or give nothing to you, really. It is, you're doing what you want to do. That's cool. But you can't be mad when somebody comes in and creates a lane and is trying to do the same for their people. You don't have to do for your people. There's no, you get what I'm saying? It's a different, we can get into all that all day, but nonetheless, that's what it is. If you feel a certain way, I don't know what to tell you. Argue with your mama.